There is a profound, yet often unacknowledged, lie that men internalize from their earliest days. It is the lie of pure exertion. We are taught that the only barrier between us and any objective worth pursuing is a deficit of effort. If you are failing, you simply are not trying hard enough. If the momentum stalls, the answer must be to push harder, to grit your teeth tighter, to simply survive on less sleep and more caffeine. This instruction to just try harder is not strength. It is a brutal reductionist philosophy that ultimately depletes the genuinely strong man. It demands that the conscious mind, which is merely the ship's captain, spend all its energy fighting the ship itself, rather than navigating the waters. It is the psychological equivalent of pressing the accelerator while the emergency brake is simultaneously engaged. The engine is roaring, the heat gauge is climbing, the effort expended is monumental, yet the velocity remains stagnant, or worse, the machine begins to seize. Understand this. Trying harder is a solution for technical inefficiency, but it is utterly useless against systemic resistance. If the infrastructure of your own mind is configured for scarcity, conflict, or low-grade failure, no amount of conscious will can overwrite that deep operating code. You are trapped not by the complexity of the world, but by the quiet, tireless mechanics of your own subconscious, which is designed primarily for consistency and often confuses familiarity with safety. If you have lived long enough, you recognize the signs of this trap, even if you never named it. The clearest manifestation is the familiar failure loop. This is the persistent, maddening cycle where you dedicate yourself entirely to a difficult goal. You build the strategy, you muster the required skill, you maintain the discipline, and then, precisely when success is imminent, the gears strip. You find yourself committing a seemingly inexplicable act of self-sabotage. Or perhaps the success arrives only to be followed by a profound, immediate drop back to the previous, less successful equilibrium. It is the man who finally pays off the significant debt, only to immediately rationalize a large, unplanned purchase that puts him back in the hole. It is the entrepreneur who successfully secures the major client he worked months for, and then inexplicably fails to prepare for the delivery meeting, damaging the new relationship. It is the cycle of physical transformation, where the discipline holds for 6 months, producing impressive results, only for an unconscious directive to kick in, leading to a month of lethargy, poor choices, and a rapid, quiet retreat back to the starting weight. The effort was genuine. The commitment was verifiable, but the system itself demanded a return to the known pathway. The conscious mind fought for the win. The unconscious mind prioritized the predictable narrative of the struggle. This loop is so dangerous precisely because the effort is real. You are suffering, you are sacrificing, and you are exhausted. When the inevitable fall occurs, the resulting belief is not, "My internal architecture is flawed," but rather, "I must not be strong enough." This confirms the original programming that you are perpetually inadequate, reinforcing the need to try harder next time, plunging you deeper into the friction without addressing the source. The engine runs hot not because the load is too great, but because you are running against the ballast of your own identity. This brings us to the core issue, the subconscious contract. We all carry within us an architecture of self, a profound, non-verbal agreement about who we fundamentally are, what we deserve, and what level of comfort or success is acceptable. This contract is not written in ink. It is etched by the emotional weight of early life experiences, unexamined beliefs absorbed from our environment, and the narratives we adopted to make sense of suffering. If your subconscious contract reads, "I am a man defined by the weight of my responsibilities and the purity of my effort," then any path that leads to effortless flow, unexpected gain, or genuine, sustained internal peace is viewed by the system as a violation, a dangerous deviation. Imagine the man whose self-worth is derived from being the constant provider, the martyr of the family, the one who carries all the burdens. He consciously seeks financial freedom, but his internal contract requires him to be perpetually burdened to maintain his identity. When a lucrative, easy opportunity presents itself, one that would solve his problems with minimal friction, his subconscious generates powerful, irrational resistance. He finds reasons to doubt the deal. He procrastinates, or he generates a conflict that derails the process. His mind is protecting his identity as the struggling but honorable man. Success, in this scenario, feels dangerous and fake, because it threatens to dissolve the very self he has spent a lifetime constructing. This contract is why transformation is so difficult. It is not the external action that resists, but the internal change of state. You are not trying to acquire a new habit. You are trying to acquire a new self-asterisk, and the old self, rooted deep in the subconscious, fights back with the ferocity of a cornered animal, using every psychological defense mechanism available: anxiety, sudden fatigue, or the familiar temptation of a self-destructive reprieve. The conscious mind is hammering against a brick wall built by the identity itself, and this is why sheer effort is not merely ineffective, but counterproductive. It only reinforces the struggle. To escape this gravitational pull, you must recognize that the path to quiet strength does not run through brute force, but through deliberate calibration. The shift must be from sheer exertion to deep understanding. You must cease asking, "How can I force this result?" and begin asking, "What internal programming is optimized for my current level? And what protective function is the resistance serving?" Calibration requires a deliberate, almost meditative level of self-honesty. Rigorous assessment of the moments when the gears strip. You stop trying to fight the resistance and start tracking it, observing the precise triggers, emotional states, and environmental cues that precede the inevitable collapse. This work is not glamorous. It involves silent, persistent observation of the self in action, a quiet commitment to mapping the contours of the contract. Once the map is clear, the work is not to attack the old code, but to gently install the new directive through validated, small successes that resonate with the desired identity, instead of attempting a massive, unsustainable leap that triggers the subconscious defense system. You introduce tiny, consistent actions that prove the new identity is safe and sustainable. The man seeking financial stability doesn't try to win the lottery. He proves to himself through 3 months of meticulous and consistent budgeting that he is now the man who handles his resources intelligently and without strain. This quiet, continuous validation slowly updates the contract. The subconscious observes these small wins and slowly, grudgingly, accepts the new reality. This is the difference between the noise of effort and the signal of true momentum. The weak man relies on visible struggle to prove his worth. The man of quiet strength understands that the most powerful work is done in the dark, in the calibration of the internal engine. He is not trying harder. He is simply operating with systemic efficiency. When the infrastructure is aligned, the resistance drops to zero, and the desired outcome unfolds not through agonizing exertion, but through the seamless, inevitable flow of an optimized machine. That is the quiet mastery that precedes all enduring external success.